Welcome to Fan Rankings Live, episode 3, where we talk rankings with other YouTubers and content creators, where their rankings will be a part of our end of the season ranking videos, which you normally see on our channel. I'm your host Sunday, and here we have Brandon Blakeney from Brandon Lee TV. How you doing, Brandon?
Live and healthy Sunday. Appreciate you having me, man. Shout out to you guys at Fan Rankings.
Yo, man, thank you for joining the show. Brandon's channel, which you can find in the description, is my go-to channel for college basketball. And Brandon's going to share his top 10 women freshmen, players, and teams for this past season, which will be included in the end of the season rankings video soon. And you watching can join us in the rankings by hitting the link in the description or going to fanrankings.com and hitting the contact us page. Let me know you want to rank, and you'll be eligible for a prize. All right, Brandon. So let's start with the freshmen. So let me set it up. All right, right now, who do you got at number one?
Yeah, man. So for sure, gotta go with Sarah Strong, number one. National Freshman of the Year, super versatile, old school game, just wise beyond her years. And being from North Carolina, man, I go a little bit harder for the North Carolina prospects. And she out of Grace Christian won several state championships, man. 6'3", can shoot it, can handle it, rebound it, built for contact for sure. With the frame, man. So yeah, I gotta go Sarah Strong one. And honestly, man, it's looking like UConn's gonna be number one next year, man. If I did my rankings right now, definitely with her coming back, man, leading the way with AZ Fudd. Yeah, Sarah Strong's the real deal. And yeah, so I definitely have her at number one.
Yeah, right now 16.4 points and 8.9 rebounds. Like, she's gonna be a double machine. She's almost shooting 60%. So that's pretty good. More than pretty good. All right, who do you got at number two?
Yeah, number two, man. Honestly, I feel like Sarah Strong is kind of like the obvious number one. Number two, I would definitely go Michaela Blakes. I think she is a super special talent. Watching her and Camille Pierre get active at Vanderbilt, she had a couple 50 balls last year. When you just talk about a walking bucket, like fearless, she has the ultimate green light too, man. Like she got a Steph Curry Golden State Warriors type green light where she crossed half court, man. They cool with her shooting anything. So I really like Michaela Blakes at number two. She a smaller guard, man, but she plays big. And I think to me, she was a player that wasn't really getting a whole lot of headlines as far as freshmen go. You heard about Silas Swartz at Michigan and what she did to South Carolina. You heard about Toby Fournier, who was dunking everything, coming in, super athletic. Like you heard about Joyce Edwards. You ain't really hear a lot about Michaela Blakes, in my opinion, until she started giving everybody 20, 25 a game. So I definitely got her at number two. And I think it's dope that she went to a school like Vanderbilt where they're not really known for their basketball history on the women's side. It was a first-year head coach. And she was a five-star recruit. She could have went anywhere. So for her to do it at a school like Vanderbilt where she's making her own name and her own legacy and being that number one option, like super, super heavy relied upon, I just thought it was dope how she got active this year.
Man, she's standing at 5'8", scoring 23.3 points per game. Like, I mean, that's pretty awesome. She did not, like you said, she did not get a lot of shine in the media like that. Not compared to your number one, and I think your number three coming up. I would assume, but let's go with your number three.
Yeah, man. So this one right here, I think honestly, Toby Fournier or Joyce Edwards could have easily been here. I give the edge to Joyce though because of the fact that I also got to look at competition, right? Like South Carolina played the most top 10 teams this year, like had the most quad one wins. Like they played everybody, man. And that stretch they had, I think it was from like beginning of January to the end of February. They had like 5 teams that was ranked back to back to back. And you really saw an SEC play, man. Joyce Edwards became the most reliable player for this team. She led them in scoring for a lot of the season. And for me, with South Carolina, they do it by the gauntlet. It could be anybody's night with them, man. So to see a freshman that we weren't even sure, was going to get super valuable minutes, like she was number 2 player in the country coming in. So the expectations are there. But when you got, Ashlyn Watkins and Chloe Kitts and all these other bigs, Sanaya Fagan in the front court, we weren't really sure like how many opportunities Joyce would get early. But when Ashlyn Watkins went down, it was the best thing that happened to Joyce Edwards, man. Just her length, her physicality, her being from South Carolina, like her as well as Sarah Strong went up against each other a bunch of times. So, down there, the Carolinas is very familiar with Joyce Edwards, but just another like 6'4", long, athletic. What's scary about Joyce too, man, is she's already getting them Asia Wilson comparisons. And if you look at Asia, her first year compared to Joyce, like even Asia has said it, like Joyce is miles ahead of where Asia Wilson was her freshman year. Like it's not even close to what she's doing right now. And it's against elite competition. Like no disrespect to Sarah Strong and UConn, but the Big East going up against Villanova and Seton Hall and teams like that, Creighton compared to giving LSU buckets compared to, giving Tennessee buckets. It's a little bit different in the SEC, man. And Don Staley gave her a lot of leverage, a lot of leeway, a lot of rope to really just play through mistakes. And she came up big for them in some really big games. So I really think Joyce Edwards and Sarah Strong, man, are going to be two players that could easily go number 1 and 2 in the WNBA draft when it's their time. They're that good. And they're going to be playing a lot of games against each other for the future, for sure.
Don't let that 12.7 points per game fool anybody. Like she was nasty on the court. So when I created a predictions list in the beginning of the season, a predictions rankings video, and Joyce Edwards was kind of I think like 5 at the time, and then she rose up. We did like mid-season March Madness rankings, and she rose up in that one. And both comments were on fire, talking about Joyce Edwards should be number 1 and this and that. Was Joyce Edwards ever like number 1 at the top, the best freshman on your list?
Man, I think for that period where she was leading South Carolina in scoring, she was getting a lot of minutes. I definitely had her like 1A, 1B with Sarah Strong. It's just hard because, man, Sarah Strong was putting on every game. It felt like she didn't really go through a learning curve, man. Like Sarah Strong looked like a junior as soon as she stepped foot on Connecticut's campus. So it was tough to knock her off, but I think Joyce had a run just because of the competition that she was going against. She's fighting double teams. And 2, with South Carolina players, like they kind of get overlooked for individual awards. It's been like that in the past just because they have so much talent and they share the basketball, so it can be anybody's night. But Joyce really stamped herself as one of the focal points early as a freshman. And, I mean, it's been freshmen like Asia Wilson, like Raven Johnson, like Malaysia Fulwiley at the time that have come in and made an impact immediately like Tessa Johnson. But for Joyce Edwards to come in and really just take the reins in that front court, and she had some learning curves. She faced some double teams. She kind of got sped up and, missed some layups throughout games that she could have easily finished. And, she definitely wasn't afraid to shoot the basketball anytime she had it. So I think she had a bigger learning curve. But when you look at who she did it for and the level of competition that South Carolina was playing every single week, she definitely was in that running for freshman of the year, man, for sure.
Sure, yeah, definitely. All right. Slight technical difficulties. Joyce Edwards is number 3. She might be on another list by mistake, but we got in our heads that, Joyce Edwards number 3. Who do you have number 4?
Yeah, 4, man, I got to go Toby Fournier. She really exceeded expectations for a really good Duke team, man. I really, really like that Duke team. They got a lot of talent coming back. I know they lost Aluchi Okinawa, 6th player of the year in the ACC. So that'll be a big loss. But Fournier, man, she came in and she's slender. You know what I'm saying? Like she's 6'4", but she's really, really slender build. So I was kind of interested to see like how her adjustment to the college, the physicality of the game against some bigger players would affect her. And she got bodied up a few times, but she was out there blocking shots. Like she led Duke in scoring. She was rebounding it. She's super athletic, runs the floor well. She can shoot the 3. She can get it off the dribble as well at that size. She's just a 3-level scorer, super skilled. And I think she was really, really effective early, man. Like, she was a 5-star recruit. And she was probably, outside of Sarah Strong and Joyce Edwards, like, she was one of the most known players in this class coming in, just because of the fact that she be dunking everything. Like, if you seen highlights probably years ago, man, like Toby Fournier, one hand off one leg, just jamming. So, you know, when you're doing stuff like that as a female hooper, when you're dunking, when you're super athletic, like, you're gonna go viral. But I think for me, she showed that she wasn't just like a social media sensation. Like, she can really hoop, and she was giving everybody problems, even in the NCAA tournament. Like, she was getting active. So I think she just proved that she is definitely one of the faces of women's college hoops coming up. And she's going to be in for a major, major sophomore year, man. So I really like Toby. Salute to her. And yeah, man, I think that she really did her thing this year. I was impressed.
Yeah. 6'2", 16, 17 dunking. That's just like, she was just dunking. She's averaging 13 points like per game. Like, she like, I could see something in her. And also averaging pretty much a block a game. Like, yeah, she's definitely gonna be something special.
Yeah, man. Maybe other than Ashlyn Watkins, maybe the most athletic big in the country, man. Like, just at that size and being able to really jump out the gym, you don't see that a lot. She's truly a unicorn.
All right, who do you got at number 5?
Yeah, number 5, I would have to go Olivia Olson, Big Ten Freshman of the Year. The thing with Michigan, man, like, they started off strong, gave South Carolina a crazy run, had some up and downs, but Silas Swartz, deservingly so, highest recruit that they've had come in through that program, was getting all the headlines. She was truly a bucket getter. But as the season progressed, man, Olsen really proved that she could be that number 1 option. Her game, she's super well-rounded, really creative, like, shot maker. I think that she played her role and she deferred a little bit to Swartz earlier in the year, but then her confidence really, really took off, especially in conference play, and she became the best player on that team, man. And with Michigan losing Layla Falia, their leading scorer from the previous year, you know, she transferred to Texas, had the eye surgery and missed most of the season, but she was averaging like 19 a game at Michigan. So when you have like a mass exodus like this and you're in the Big Ten, which, you know, man, USC, UCLA, Iowa, Ohio State, like, the list goes on with these freshmen. Seeing what she did against elite competition, and her and Silas Swartz pretty much putting Michigan on their back as freshmen, man, like, that's a dynamic duo. Like, the future is super, super bright. So I really like what I saw from her. And the fact that she didn't start off super, super strong like Swartz did, but every month, every game, every rep, man, Olsen got better, and that's the big thing.
Yeah, they put a lot of weight on Silas Swords and Olivia Olsen. Like, right now she's averaging like 30 minutes a game. Like, this is a freshman, so
Yeah,
pretty good. Like, averaging 16 points, almost shooting 40% from 3. Yeah. Who do you have? Before we go to number 6, make sure, if you're watching, hit the like button, share this stream. If you're watching late after the live, hit the like button again and share the video. And also, if you want more content, more college basketball content, please, Brandon Lee _TV on YouTube. Again, as you're hearing, like, this guy's amazing. All right, let's go to your number 6.
Yeah, man. So number 6, I gotta go Jelani Cambridge, another freshman, point guard, like, super skilled, one of the best handles that I've seen in the college game. Between her and Kiyomi McMillan and Malaysia Fulwiley, like, you talking about that, like, Jamal Crawford, Kyrie Irving type of handle, man, where it's just one-on-one, forget about it. You're not staying in front of them. And I think out of those 3, Cambridge is really the most, like, controlled. She looks like the most mature, to where, you know, she give you a little over the head, no look behind the back, but it's controlled. And I think she really showed that she's one of the best point guards in the country. Her and Cody McMahon carried Ohio State all year. You know, they had an early exit out of the tournament. Cody McMahon transfers out of there and goes to Ole Miss, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do in the portal, some recruits they got coming in, how they develop. But next season, I will say without a doubt, out of every freshman we named, with Toby Fournier, with Sarah Strong, like Ohio State will be Jelani Cambridge's team next season. And just seeing her progression of being able to operate the pick and roll. So, I mean, as you know, as all hoopers know, fans, analysts, players, whatever, like being a freshman point guard is one of the hardest positions to play, making decisions, having the rock in your hand, and just having to not only balance your scoring and produce and put pressure on your opponent, but you also got to create for others, run the offense, and be like that coach on the floor. So I was really impressed with Jelani Cambridge, just how she handled the Big Ten, how she handled the point guard position. And I thought her and Cody McMahon really made a nice 1-2 punch. Maybe there was some chemistry issues there. But, yeah, it's going to be her show next year, man. They gave her the keys early, and she didn't crash the car.
Yeah, Jelani Cambridge also an amazing defender. Like, they'll average 2 steals a game. Like, she could really lock down all those other guards, averaging 15.4 points per game. All right. Who do you have at – all right. Cambridge had the same fate as Joyce Edwards. She might be on another list. So where are we at? We are at 7. So we got 7.
Yeah, I mean, at this point now, I'm looking at Silas Swartz plugging in there. Another Michigan freshman, which, Michigan fans should be super excited about her as well as Olsen. Like that's going to be a dynamic duo for years to come if they can keep those two together. But Swartz, man, when you look at this list, she might be one of the most fearless players we've talked about, man. Like, she ain't seen a shot she is scared to take. I love her confidence. The fact that with the game on the line, like, she wants the basketball. She's not shying away from taking the game-winning shot. If they need a bucket, she wants to go out there and get them one. I do think her efficiency and her shot selection will continue to improve. Like, I'm with efficiency, with turnovers, with shot selection. Like, I'm more lenient on freshmen coming in. She's still learning the pace and the physicality of the college game. But the way she took it to South Carolina, man, I knew from day one, first game, like, she was going to be a problem. She had some big games for them, some 20-plus point games for Michigan. Shot the basketball well. She's a heat check waiting to happen. And I think that she proved more that she's not just a catch and shoot type of player. Like, she can create off the bounce. She can create space. She can go ISO. She can get to the cup. So, yeah, I'm a fan of Silas Swartz, man. I love players that come in with that confidence and talk a little bit. I love the smack talk. As long as you back it up, I'm cool with it. So, yeah, man, I thought she had a big year. She had some up and down. She had some growing pains, but I think she played through it, and from game 1 to the end of the season, she definitely showed a lot of progression as a player.
Yeah, Michigan might be my new favorite team since Olivia Miles is no longer in Notre Dame. I hope Silas Swords and Olivia Olsen stay together. I hope that duo stays together. She had another 16 points per game scorer on Michigan and another freshman. Like, it's pretty cool. I hope they stay together.
Yeah, man, same. The way the portal is now, man, I did a video on that Olivia Miles move. I was surprised, man, that she left, but it definitely gives her and Hannah Hidalgo a chance to run their own team, so that's cool.
Yeah.
And then rounding out my group, man, I got Keomi McMiller. Just elite handle. She might have the best handle I've seen for a freshman in like the last decade, man. Like, she's like and one mixtape type handles. Like, people would call it, backyard basketball or whatever they want to call it. But when you talk about just handles, it's crazy. Isolation is crazy. And she pulling up from mid court on the reg. Like, it just limitless range. She went through some ups and downs at Rutgers, and I understood why she left. Her and the head coach butted heads. She got suspended, had a lot of people mad about that post where they played USC, and she was looking forward to matching up with Juju Watkins and got benched. And she announced it before the team actually announced it. I had never seen a player rule themselves out of a game before the team officially announced it. So that was wild. It showed you she bold. But she took a lot of shots. She definitely has to work on the playmaking as a smaller guard, and I think that will come. But as far as just excitement and getting a bucket like one-on-one, she's an impossible cover. A nice first step, nice float game. Can pull up off the mid-range. Like I said, shoot it from half court, just logo range. And I think she's super exciting. The rumor is that she's committed to Penn State. Not sure if that's 100% yet, according to her Instagram. So we're kind of waiting to see. I don't know what the recruiting was looking like for her, because I know with a player like that, man, she's going to be the star. She wants to have the ball in her hands. She wants the green light, and she's not quite a player right now as a guard compared to like Olsen or Cambridge or even like a Sarah Strong with the playmaking that really you can run the offense through, and she makes other players better around her, makes things easier for the talent around her. I don't think she's gotten to that point yet. I also think Rutgers didn't have a whole lot of talent this year. They were kind of bottom of the barrel. So
Yeah.
I think her next step, definitely her next move has to be her best move. I'm excited to see where she ends up. But whatever team she ends up on, man, I think she is a player that makes your roster better.
Right. Yeah. McMillan from the DMV area, averaging almost 19 points per game. In our March Madness midseason rankings, we had her at number 1. So what did you see that has her at number 8 for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking at more so like opportunity, efficiency. She had the ultimate green light, but she's also taken probably 5 more shots than anybody on this list. Like, she really was out there jacking. And I think too, team success. Like, it's a team sport, but stats kind of hit a little different when you're on a bad team. Like, it's a lot of people that can average 20 and not win games. And that's the thing. So for me, that kind of was like the knock against Keone Miller, just like efficiency. Like, yeah, the numbers are there. The numbers are there. The talent is there. But the wins weren't there. In big games, she kind of disappeared in a couple of them Big Ten games where it's kind of like, your team needed you. And that's no knock to her game. But it's just the fact of the matter that in big games, when you got these freshmen that are leading their teams to, Elite Eights and Sweet 16s and conference tournament championships. And, you got these players that are winning awards as well for their efforts. I think it weighs a little bit more for me, because we see it in the NBA, man. Like, you even think back to like before the Suns, they're kind of trash now, but even before, they got right with Ayton and them, like Book was averaging like 25, but they was winning like 20 games. So nobody really cared. And that's kind of what it is with Rutgers, man. Like, you got a freshman that's super talented, that is getting all the shots she wants. She's producing at a high rate, but the team isn't getting better. The wins aren't there, and it's kind of like they're hollow stats at the end of the day. But, I got nothing but respect for Keomi's game, and I think she's a talented player, man. I just think that some of the freshmen that I have above her, were producing similar numbers, but on winning teams.
Okay, I can understand that. Yeah, see, that's why I have you on here to break it down. That's why I have you on here. I could definitely understand that. All right, who do you have at number 9?
So for me, man, I really stopped at 8. It was kind of after that. It was kind of hard just because it kind of got crowded. So I threw my top 8 in there. But there was definitely some other talented freshmen. I think, too, even at smaller schools, man, like you see all these transfers that, kill at these lower level schools and then they move up. So I think there was a lot of talented freshmen that were at some of the mid majors as well. But for me, man, I really just kept it at 8.
Okay. All right, cool. Let us shift to the top 10 players right now. Let me reset.
Yeah, that top 10 players is something serious too, man. It was just, I think for me this year, it was exciting because this was like the most evenly distributed level of talent that we've seen. Where in the last couple of years, it's just been like one dominant team kind of running through everybody. But this year in the tournament, man, it was like anybody could lose any given day.
Right. Before we begin, I want to remind everybody, you can rank as well. Go to fanrankings.com and get the contact us page. Let me know you want to rank. You'll be eligible for a prize, and your rankings will be a part of the video. Brandon's rankings right here will be part of the video. My rankings will be part of the video. We want your rankings. This is called Fan Rankings. We want your rankings on here as well. So, and also make sure you subscribe to Brandon Lee _TV and subscribe to this channel for more information, for more rankings, for more videos. All right, Brandon, let's go. Who is your number one player?
Yes, sir. So I gotta go with the generational talent, Juju Watkins. I hate that she is gonna miss a lot of the year next year with that ACL, but I'm expecting her to come back better than ever when she gets right on the court. But yeah, Juju, man, I believe the comparisons are there. Everybody's like Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are like the Bird and Magic, and Juju's gonna be Michael Jordan. And I mean, for women's basketball, with her size, 6'2", like she's got a lot of Maya Moore in her game. I think she's a little bit quicker, a little bit more lucid. You could tell, like, and I mean this with all due respect to all the hoopers out there, but you can tell, like, when certain female hoopers grew up playing against guys, like they move a little different. They're a little bit more physical. Like Juju definitely grew up playing against boys and was dominating them for sure. Just with her size and her physicality is crazy, man. Like just her ability to create contact, like she is running through you and getting to the rim. I love her first step. She's super explosive, getting off the dribble. She's already making professional level shots too, man. Like there's a lot of people that felt like Juju probably could have been a top 5 pick this year, even as a sophomore, which is crazy, man. But just with her shot making ability, mid-range game, elite, like she can get it off the dribble. I think she's the most game plan player in the entire country. I mean, anytime Juju's touching the ball, we seeing 2 or 3 defenders trailing her, man. So I think just with the attention she commands, I think she did a really good job of being a better playmaker this year and trusting her teammates a little bit more. But when you talk about just pure bucket getters, like, 5 seconds left on the clock, there's nobody in the country I'm trusting more than Juju to go get me a bucket. And she's fearless. She's fearless. I think she's marketable. That's one thing, too, about being one of the best players is we've learned with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark and Asia Wilson, even in the pros. Like, you got to be marketable, and she's very personable. I think she's very marketable. She's a brand. She understands, her impact on and off the court. Like we seeing little girls out there with the Juju buns now, and I think what's really cool for me, man, I'm really big into staying home and doing your thing where you grew up, where your people raised you, where your roots are. And we saw Juju stay in LA. She could have went anywhere else. She was a star at Sierra Canyon, stayed at the crib, went to Southern Cal, where she's from in that area, put on for her state. So I thought that was really big too. Because that's a program with a lot of history with Cheryl Miller and Tina Tompkins and a lot of players that have come through that have went on to stardom in the 80s and the 70s. Like the Women of Troy was the real deal. They got a whole documentary about them, and they have been down for a couple of years. So for Juju to kind of be the next one to take that torch and her superstar ability. I mean, we seeing all types of celebs pulling up to see Juju Watkins. Like she's must-watch TV, and she's done it her own way. And yeah, man, I just think she's a really, really special talent.
Yeah, averaging 23.9 points per game. And she, like, when you said she's physical, like on defense, like averaging like 2 steals, 2 blocks. Like she's everywhere. Her motor is like amazing. I saw her play in person when she was down in Maryland, and like her shots wasn't falling in the beginning, but she just has this no quit in her. It's just like she just keeps going. She kept going until they won. So
I love
Juju's
how too
on.
you
Yeah,
bring up the defense. People don't talk. I mean, she's a
yeah,
bucket
yeah,
getter. People want to see the
yeah.
ball go through the hoop, but yeah, she don't get enough credit as a defender, man. She be down there guarding the 2, the 3, the 4,
Right.
out there
Yeah.
blocking shots. So yeah, man, that's definitely something that should be praised too. Is she's definitely a two-way player.
Yeah. She ain't blocking just anybody's shot. She's blocking her peers, like or like women her level. So it's like, yeah, she's something fierce. All right. So who do you got number 2?
Number 2, man, I gotta go with national champion Paige Becker's recent number 1 WNBA draft pick, man. And Paige is just a dog. I love just her competitiveness, her tenacity. Like she's always cool, calm, and collected. And then you talk about a player that just has shown perseverance, man, battling through those injuries. Like people forget before Caitlin Clark blew up, they in that same class, her, Haley Van Lith, Paige Beckers was her freshman year early before we knew what Caitlin Clark really was. Like it was Paige Beckers that was the face and that was supposed to be, the end all be all in that class. And she came in National Freshman of the Year, Player of the Year, like completely took over her freshman year and was just the most talked about player. Like she was that before Caitlin Clark. She goes down back-to-back years with season-ending injuries. I think part of that was on UConn's athletic training staff, man, and they definitely made some changes. But we saw, the injury bug, we've seen it with AZ Fudd. Like we've seen it with a lot of players in recent history. And for her to just persevere, she's one of the most criticized players. They was all on her first offseason. She finally had healthy. She out in the mix. She more so into the culture than Caitlin Clark is. You might see Paige out there at the cookout for real. Like she's really just moving different. And I think she's just been such a heavily criticized player for so long. She's had the spotlight for so long, and she's dealt with it. And I admire that she's used her voice to speak up on topics that sometimes aren't popular to talk about. She's definitely done her due diligence of giving praise to Black women in general and the impact that they've had on the WNBA and just on basketball in general. So I respect that part of her, just being able to stand up and really use her platform to a beneficial way, man. But just on the court, she's cerebral. She's an assassin. She wants to take your soul out of you, man. She wants to destroy you. She's a competitor, and playing for a coach like Gina Auriemma, man, that is just no nonsense, that is very blunt, that we've seen throw you under the bus if you're not performing, that will call you out in front of the media. Like it takes a special psyche of player to where Paige, he wasn't going to break Paige. It made her better. And the more jabs she took from the public, the more jabs she took from the naysayers, like she got stronger and stronger. We thought, for me anyway, I wasn't even sure UConn was a Final Four team. They lose to Tennessee. They get their doors blown off. They lose to Notre Dame. Hannah Hidalgo came and snatched her chain. They lose to USC. Like it was a lot of games they had lost, and it felt like, Gina Auriemma should retire. UConn was over the hump. They go and smash South Carolina. Embarrassed them by 30 on their home court. And they've been running ever since, man. So I got a lot of respect for Paige Beckers because she's fought through a lot of adversity. And she finally got that chip, man, at a place like UConn where, man, the list of players, some of the all-time greats have come through there. And she embraced the challenge and stamped herself as one of them all-time greats.
All right. Yeah, I'm happy for Paige Beckers to get that, to walk away from college with the national championship on her. That's pretty special, especially everything, like you said, everything she went through, averaging like 25 and 5, like a bit amazing. So
yeah, I agree. And I think she just did what they did. They needed her this year. Like last year they was hurt. They had her playing the 4, which was crazy as a point guard. And, she just did everything they needed her to do. If they needed a bucket, she did it. They needed a block, a rebound, or an assist. Like, Paige was just out there doing it all.
Yeah. So what's that one deciding factor that you have Juju over Paige, the national champion, Paige Beckers?
Yeah, man. If we going off of more so regular season and up into Juju Watkins' injury, I just think for me, Juju was the most dominant player in college basketball. Like, just the attention that she commanded, the fact that she was on the top of every scouting report every single game, the just dealing with the double teams and the triple teams and still just being able to enforce your will. And I think, to be honest, USC had the better season up until the tournament started. So for me, that was kind of more so the deciding factor. But you could easily bump Page, especially after that March Madness they had. You could easily bump Page up to number one. So I have no arguments there.
Okay. All right. Who is your number 3?
So number 3, man, I gotta go with maybe the biggest competitor on this list, most fiery player, man. That's Hannah Hidalgo. She is one of my favorite players. Just in basketball, period. Like, I really just love watching Hannah Hidalgo play the game of basketball, man. Just she reminds me of Trae Young if he could play defense. Like, just a bulldog. She's a smaller guard, but she's a bully, man. Like, she's just a dog. And I love, for me, the emotion that she plays with. With Notre Dame, man, she was like that emotional leader. Like, Olivia Miles was cool, calm, and collected. Hannah Hidalgo, man, after a big bucket, like, she's screaming, she's hollering, she's jumping around. Like, she brought that energy for them. And I think even if any other class, any other freshman class, she comes in without a Juju Watkins, and Hannah Hidalgo's freshman of the year last year, without a doubt. She just happens to be playing next to a generational talent. Even this year, like, a lot of people felt like she could have been the national player of the year. I think from a point guard perspective, like, she's the best guard in the country. And I think, too, it was an adjustment period. Like, her first year, you got Olivia Miles, an All-American talent that has been running the show for Notre Dame for multiple years. So Hidalgo's coming in kind of thinking more so that she's going to be like a Robin compared to a Batman, that second fiddle. And to see what she did being the number one option as a freshman, I think was super impressive for me. Just her ability to conduct the offense, run the show as a point guard, being an assist, a playmaker, scoring over, 24, 25 points a game, leading the nation in steals. She's a ball hawk. She's a really good perimeter defender. You can't dribble it too far in front of her, or she's taking it and going the other way for sure. So I thought that was a big thing for me, is her defense too, but also the fact that she made that adjustment this year with Olivia Miles coming back into the lineup. Like, she was able to adjust and play on or off ball. She showed proof that she could play with another point guard. You had 2 lottery picks in Olivia Miles and Sonia Citron. Olivia Miles easily could have been the number 2 pick in the draft, decided to come back. You got Sonia Citron that just went, I think, 3. Like, she was a top 5 pick, 4.
To the Mystics, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So playing with that level of talent and still being able to shine and prove that, you can share the basketball or share the backcourt with other elite players. It really made me a fan of Hannah Hidalgo. And then just the flair that she plays with, man, like, elite one-on-one, can't stop her in transition. Smaller guards gotta have a floater in the bag. You gotta have the floater if you're a smaller guard, and she has all the tools, man. So I'm excited to see what she does next season too.
Yeah, averaging 24 points almost 24 points a game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. And earlier we were talking defense. We came to Juju Watkins. Hannah Hidalgo is just nasty on defense. Like, she's averaging almost 4 steals a game, like, and taking it the other way. Like, so, like, it's gonna be her and Juju next year. So it's gonna be pretty amazing. All right, give me 1 second. I had a little bit of technical difficulties. Let me All right, who do you have at number 4?
Yeah, number 4, I got Anissa Morrow, another first round pick that, man, just led the nation in rebounds, pound for pound at 6'1". Just the way that she held her own against some of the bigger players this year, I think was incredible. She held down LSU's front court very strong this year. Majority of the time it was by herself, man, to be honest. Like Samaya Smith came on later in the year, but it was really Anissa Morrow battling on that glass, man, 1-on-2, 1-on-3, and coming down with rebounds. She led the nation in double doubles. I think she showed an improved game, shooting off the dribble, expanding her range to 3-point land. And she's just a dog, man, just a nonstop motor that really, really gets active, just explosive. She played volleyball in high school, and you can tell, man, how quickly she gets off the ground for them rebounds. Like she got some springs in her legs for sure. I thought personally she should have won SEC Player of the Year. No shade to Madison Booker, but yeah, Anissa Morrow was the real deal.
Yeah, Anissa Morrow, double machine, like averaging 20 and 12. Like it was. Yeah, she's pretty spectacular on that team, on that star-studded team in LSU. So who do you got at number 5?
So at number 5, rounding out the top 5, man, I gotta go Lauren Betts. I thought it was crazy that she decided to come back to college, but I get it.
Yeah.
You know, her sister's a top 3, top 4 player in the country. Sienna Betts is coming in to UCLA, so she wanted to play with little sis. Respect to her. She easily could have been a top 5 draft pick this year, but I just think her transformation, like this was the best shape we've seen Lauren Betts in. She played a lot of minutes this year. She was the catalyst for UCLA, number 1 overall seed in the country. They beat a lot of teams this year. She was, to me, probably the most dominant player on both sides of the basketball. I think she got a lot better passing out of the post and dealing with those double teams. And I mean, to be honest, between her and maybe Sarah Strong, like those are probably, and Hannah Hidalgo, of course, those are probably like your top 3 Player of the Year candidates for this upcoming season too. But yeah, I like Lauren Betts, man. She's skilled. She extended her range, like she proved she could hit the elbow jumper. Defenses was daring her to shoot it all year. So yeah, man, she's big, she's physical, she's skilled, and yeah, she's gonna be a problem next year.
Yeah, a lot of folks had her at number 1 during the season. Averaging, she was pretty much almost a 20 and 10 woman. So like she's gonna be something special next year. Again, well, she's already something special, but next year, along with her sister, UCLA has a chance.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to see what they do. But yeah, Lauren Betts, man, she definitely, you don't see a lot of prospects like her level. Olivia Miles, like you got a chance to be a top 5 pick in the NBA, you're not coming back. So that's something special about the women's side, man. Like we got so much talent coming back. Waiting on that new CBA deal for the new increased rookie contracts in the WNBA.
Yeah. That's what makes women's college basketball more enjoyable. Like a lot of women just stay in college. So we get connected. We get to know the team stays together for a longer period than the men's. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty, especially Betts that pass that up to stay in UCLA. All right, who do you got at number 6?
So number 6, man, I got the nation's leading scorer, Tanaya Latston, newest South Carolina Gamecock, walking bucket, man. One of the best players to come through Florida State. And Florida State's a team I really liked watching last year. This year it was kind of more so a down year for them. Tanaya Latston did a lot of heavy lifting, and they ended up getting put out the tournament kind of early. But I mean, nation's leading scorer, in the ACC, that says a lot right there. But just a walking bucket, man. And I think her going to South Carolina, like, it's going to take pressure off of her not having to score 20 plus every single night, but she can still do that. One-on-one, they have a player now that can create off the dribble, that can create her own shot, that can go ISO. They got a number 1 scoring option, something that South Carolina kind of lacked at times last year. When the offense is broken up, people are scrambling, the shot clock is getting low. Latston is a player that you can just give the ball to, tell everybody else to get the heck out the way, and she can go get you a bucket.
Yeah, it's gonna be real interesting in South Carolina. How do you think she'll fit in there?
I'm excited, man. I know it pretty much, from my understanding, cost them Malaysia Full Wiley, who I think is going to be a top player next season wherever she goes. Like, she's one of the most unguardable players in the country. So I think it fits a lot easier now, knowing that, one of them won't have to come off the bench. Also, you got the chemistry, her and Raven Johnson won like 3 state titles together down in Georgia. So they're already accustomed to playing together. She's played AAU with a couple of the players on that team as well. And she guards. At South Carolina, you got to play defense or you're not going to see the floor. So that's a player that they don't have to really acclimate to the culture. Like, she's already in the mold of a Dawn Staley type player. And her scoring definitely will take a hit, but I still think that she has a big year and she feels a big need for them in the backcourt.
All right. Before we get to number 7, I gotta pay the bills real quick. Um, if somebody asks me who's my favorite player, who's my favorite player, I say my kids. Um, so why not have the apparel? So go to shop.fanrankings.com, upload your child's picture, and create your own apparel for your kids. Represent them in their favorite in the sport they're competing in, whether it's basketball, football, soccer, whatever. And also have it as a memento because these kids grow fast. So go to shop.fanrankings.com. Brandon, who do you have at number 7?
Number 7, man, I gotta go Audie Crooks out of Iowa State. Her and Addie Brown were one of the best dynamic duos last season. She put like 50 on Cameron Brink and Stanford as a freshman and punched them out of the tournament. So I think, she came in with big expectations. But when you talk about like that super sophomore class of, Michaela Williams, Madison Booker, Juju, Hannah Hidalgo, like Audie Crooks is absolutely in that conversation as far as production. She's big, she's physical, she's skilled. She definitely will continue to have to work on her body just so she can play more minutes and be on the court. But I think that's something that she's continued to work on. Besides Lauren Betts, man, she might be the most dominant big coming back next season just from a production standpoint. And I just hope Iowa State, man, continues. They've done some things in the portal, but I just hope they continue to stack that talent around her because, she's special.
Yeah, most definitely. Audie Crooks. Who do you have at number 8?
Number 8, I got Georgia Amoore out of Kentucky. Coach Kenny Brooks is one of my favorite coaches in the game. He did a really good job of recruiting the state of North Carolina when I was a sports reporter out there, local television. His ability to just develop talent and have that wide open system. He made the jump to Kentucky, brought Georgia Amoore with him, who could have been a top 5 pick probably last year. And I think they exceeded expectations. New conference, a team that hadn't seen the NCAA tournament in quite some years. You're building from scratch. People weren't sure how Georgia Amoore would adjust to a conference like the SEC, and she proved more than she belonged. Like, she was probably the best point guard in that whole conference. I love just her balance of being able to score it and making the decision to get others involved. She's elite in the pick and roll. She was one of the lead assist getters in the entire country this year. I love her feel for the game, and I think she's going to be really, really productive in the WNBA too because she's played a lot of games, and she's mature.
Yeah, Georgia Amoore almost averaging 7 assists a game, like something crazy. 7 assists a game, almost 16 points, and now Washington Mystic. So that's pretty cool on my end. So let's go to where are we at right now? We are at
I think number 9.
Number 9. So who do you have at number 9?
Yeah, so we got a familiar face, man. It was hard to. This was probably the hardest. I was looking at Michaela Blake's, man, and just the numbers was just undeniable for her this season. She's a player that could have a Tanaya Laston type season next year. I love that they brought in Leia Del Rosario. They finally got a big. But Michaela Blakes and Camille Pierre were the most productive duo in the country, both of them averaging over 20 points last season for Vandy. And as a freshman, when you really are like the top of the scouting report, when teams are really keying in on stopping you as a freshman, like that's a lot of responsibility. And there weren't a whole lot, and this is no disrespect to any of the upperclassmen, because Vanderbilt had some really talented players that had decided to stay around and not transfer. So salute to them. But when you are a freshman, you're the number one option, and you're coming to a program that's been losing, that's been getting their tails beat, belt to behind in the SEC for some years, and you got a fresh-faced coach coming in there, and you're building from scratch. Like having the success of going for 50, 55 as a freshman in a conference like the SEC, it can't be overlooked. So that's why I think for me, she was the only player to be on 2 different lists. And man, she just getting started.
Yeah, Michaela Blakes again, who worked on the freshman list, now the top 10 players list. Not much more to be said. Again, 23.3 points per game. All right, we're gonna round it out now.
Yeah, and then round it out, I gotta go with Harmony Turner, man. A lot of people probably are not checking for Ivy League basketball. Like she's out there playing at Harvard, and respect to her, because she could have literally transferred anywhere in the country, like playing the way she did. I thought she was good enough to go in the first round of the WNBA draft. She'll get an opportunity for sure. But just another bucket getter. They beat 2 SEC teams at Harvard this year. Like she led them to the conference tournament as like a 3 seed. She was really good defensively as well. Like just did a lot for that team. And she was by far, for the last 3 years, the best player in the Ivy League. And we're talking about a league that produced Caitlin Chen, who was a starter for the national championship UConn Huskies this year. So, it's some talent that's coming through the Ivy League. I think Harvard's got a really fiery and really just inspirational coach. Like she's got them ladies out there ready to run through a wall for her. And Hermione Turner was giving everybody buckets this year. Like Harvard had a really tough non-conference schedule. Like I said, they beat a couple SEC teams. Like they really played above their competition. She went on a crazy run, like had a couple 40-point games in their conference tournament, man. And I think she was easily the best mid-major player, but I had her in my top 10 all year just from a player standpoint, man. Like she is just playing beyond the competition level. When they needed big buckets, she was there. When the game was on the line, she was there. People weren't really expecting them to win the conference tournament and make the NCAA tournament, man. She really wielded that team through the conference with some really big games.
Yeah, Hermione Turner, 18.5 points per game, and averaging 6 rebounds. She's staying in Harvard, right? She's not entering transfer portal.
No, I think she was a senior, bro. I think she's going pro.
She's going pro? Oh,
okay. Yeah. I think she was a senior this year, man.
Oh,
but
okay.
She definitely could have went anywhere in the portal, man. I know the offers was there.
All right. Now we've completed our top 10 players. Brandon, thank you. Let's go to teams. Let me reset this. And before we get to the teams, again, Brandon is ranking. I'm going to be ranking. We want you to rank. We're getting all the rankings together for the end of the season video. So go to fanrankings.com/contact us. Let me know you want to rank. I'll send you the link. And you'll also be eligible for a prize. I want this to be a collective rankings. I don't want the comments to be like, such and such should be here, such and such should be here. Did you rank though? Did you rank? So go to fanrankings.com, hit the contact us link, or just go to the description and hit the link right there. Make sure you like this video, please. Share this video. And also subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Fan Rankings, and also subscribe to Brandon Lee _TV. All right, we are ready. Let's go to teams. Who is your number one team?
Yeah, I gotta go UConn at number one, man. They're returning a lot of talent between AZ Fudd, who could have been a first round pick this year too. Her coming back really pushed them over the edge for me. Sarah Strong, KK Arnold, like they got a lot of talent coming back. They're gonna have a big target on their back as well. But if they can stay healthy, man, I got UConn potentially winning it again.
Yes, Sarah Strong is really gonna be the it girl now that Paige Becker's gone. All right, who's your number two team this past season?
Yeah, number two, I got South Carolina. They're still in the running for a couple of players, but they just got Medina Okot, 6'6" transfer center out of Mississippi State that kind of solves their rim protection problem. You lose Malaysia Fulwiley, but you bring in Tanaya Laston. They're still in. They got a couple of irons in the fire with a couple more transfers. So, and I want to mention that too. Like these rankings definitely could shift because there's still a lot of names in the portal that haven't committed yet, a la Sarah Williams. This definitely could change in my opinion, just me personally. But yeah, I think South Carolina's bringing a lot. Raven Johnson coming back was big. Tessa Johnson, like they're gonna have a deep roster once again for sure.
All right. Who is your number three this past season?
Yep. So 3, UCLA, man. They definitely have a lot of talent coming back next season too. It all runs through Lauren Betts. Like it's no secret. As long as she's there, they're going to be competitive. I like Angela Dugalich. I like Gabriela Jaquez. Super athletic. She also plays on the Bruins softball team. So I always salute athletes that play multiple sports, especially in college. But yeah, UCLA, man, I think it's going to hurt them losing Janiyah Barker, but they should be right back.
And before we continue, were you surprised how UConn handled South Carolina?
Say that one more time.
I said, were you surprised how UConn handled South Carolina?
Yeah, getting 30 ball twice in the same year by the same team, but in the same season is diabolical, man. I think that Gino just figured them out. Gino really figured them out. And UConn, man, they just had some really good shooting games against South Carolina where they were just hitting everything. It seemed like, it was the perfect storm and the perfect game plan. But yeah, anytime a national championship game, especially when you got a chance to get your lick back, I'm thinking you come in a little bit different. But yeah, they just did not have an answer for UConn, man. Just the guards, those dribble handoffs had them just dazed and confused, Yeah, I was surprised.
That's right, yeah. Right now, so who do you have number 4?
So at number 4, I got Texas. Salute to Madison Booker. And I don't want fans to feel like, I'm slighting her as the national or the Big 12, Big 10, or excuse me, let me get the conference. It's been a lot of conference moves. The SEC Player of the Year. Texas was one of the best teams in the country all year. They beat South Carolina, which is a tall task. They made it. It was a coin flip that pretty much decided the 1 seed. They want a share of that regular season title in the SEC, something a team hadn't done with South Carolina. And I think too, it goes to say with Coach Vic Schaefer and those guys, like coming into a new conference and showing that, you're competing with the league's best from year one. That can't be overlooked. I think for me, it kind of hurt them not being able to shoot the 3 ball, but also you land a player like Layla Falia that averaged 19 a game last season that you're thinking is going to be, one of your top perimeter threats. You got Rory Harmon coming off an ACL and she's still, trying to get back right. So with all of that, I think Texas really showed a lot of moxie this year. And I'm excited to see what they do next year. Madison Booker is definitely a special talent. Between her and Michaela Williams, that's probably the best two mid-range assassins you got. She got some KD, a little Carmelo Anthony to her game, in my opinion, to where she's not gonna blow by you, but she absolutely can get to her spot. And I love that she completely transformed her body as well. Was in great shape this year. Like, you could tell she was lifted over the summer, putting in work. And yeah, man, if Vic Shaver stop all that complaining and just play ball, Texas gonna be all right.
All right. So you got number 5.
5, I got LSU. I think that Kim Mulkey did the best that she could with that roster this year. It was a lot of Band-Aids. It was a lot of Band-Aids that went over some holes in the boat. A lot of players from LSU this year, in my opinion, got a free ride. It was a lot of pressure on Flau'jae Johnson. It was a lot of pressure on Michaela Williams. It was a lot of pressure on Anissa Morrow. And that big three really carried them. I think they were the most efficient big three in the country all year. They played a lot of minutes, and depth ended up hurting them in the end, man. If they had a few more bodies that could have just contributed a little bit more off the bench, like LSU had the talent to be a Final Four team. But with Flau'jae coming back, I thought that was major. With Michaela Williams coming back, they got the number 1 freshman class coming in next year as well. They're in the running to land Sarah Williams. So I think they have a chance to, if we redo this list in a couple of months, LSU could be at number 2. But just how they finished the season, they finished strong. They left it all out on the court. And, yeah, man, I really enjoyed watching them play.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you because we talked a little bit before this show about Flau'jae Johnson and Michaela Williams. And they also had Anissa Morrow. And I was pretty much going to ask you, was there any disappointment how they finished? But I feel like what you're saying is they weren't deep enough. Even though they had those three horses, they weren't that deep. Is that from what you were saying?
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. I mean, it's tough. You got 3 players that are pretty much producing 80% of the scoring and the rebounding. And you look at these teams like at the top, like UConn, South Carolina, UCLA, like we talking, they got McDonald's All-Americans coming off the bench. They 10 deep. So when that's a lot to ask out of 3 players.
All right. Who do you get at number 6? Also, wait, real quick, Flau'jae, number 1 fan. I salute you. Morrow, the real award winner. All right, who do you got at number 6?
Number 6, I got Duke. I really am a big fan of Kara Lawson. I think she's kind of cut from the same mold as Dawn Staley, just really knows the game, played the game, one of the best point guards to come through, really has, I think, too, what stands out is like she's teaching life lessons, right? It's not just about basketball with her. Like, she's preparing these players for the next level, but also not just to be professionals in the WNBA, to be professionals, doctors, lawyers, analysts, whatever. She's preparing them for life. I think she's one of those players coaches that's a big motivator, that has been there, understands what these players are going through. She pours into them. I think she teaches them a lot of good lessons too, man. Like, you'll see the clips of her going viral and the messages she's pouring into these young athletes, which I think is just as important. As a coach, in my opinion, you should be a mentor too. These parents are trusting their children with you to be around you, 5-6 days out the week. So you need to be pouring something positive into these players. And that's what I like about Kara Lawson. She's building something at Duke. They've gotten better every single year. She continues to stack talent. And they won the ACC this year, man. They go in with the ACC tournament. They gave South Carolina a run in that Elite 8. So I think that they're building something special. They got a lot of talent coming back next year. And I'm just a big fan of how they're building it brick by brick.
All right. Who do you got at number 7?
Number 7, I got to go with who did I have at number 7? Oklahoma. I really like them this year too, man. I think from a talent standpoint too, just looking at what they achieved. Like there's a lot of teams that could have been on this list. Carolina, I was born and raised a Carolina fan, so they're another team that I think definitely could be in this top 10. And its rankings, they're subjected to be criticized, and everybody has their own opinion. So respect to everybody. But yeah, Oklahoma, man, I think they, for the most part of the year, they were a top 15 team. They played a really tough schedule. They did some things in the NCAA tournament as well. I love that they got Reagan Beers. Peyton Verhulst, I think, is going to be a really good pro with her size, her ability to score the basketball. They got the, arguably the number one recruit coming in next year, and Aaliyah Chavez to come in and play that point guard position. So I think the future is really bright for them. They also are in the running for a couple of top transfers as well. So when you pair that with what they have coming in the recruiting trail, they've got some really good freshmen coming in too. Oklahoma, I think, is definitely going to be a very fast-paced, high-octane offense next season.
All right, we were rounding out to the last two. If you are watching, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Fan Rankings, subscribe to Brandon Lee _TV. Brandon, who's your number 18?
Yeah, at number 8, man, I gotta say I was kind of torn because I think originally I was thinking like Tennessee could be there. Also, man, I gotta salute even because I know this is kind of like a mix of last year and I kind of looking ahead to next year, but just specifically speaking on last year, TCU could easily be at number 6 too, above Duke, or at number 7. So I definitely want to show TCU some love as well. Just because of what they did. Coach Mark Campbell, like, it's crazy. They built that team from scratch pretty much, man, in the transfer portal with Haley Van Lith, who's a player that left a lot of bad taste in people's mouth with her time at LSU, man. It just didn't work out. And she really got back in her bag and built herself up back at TCU. I thought it was just a great job of her coming in, getting acclimated. I mean, she was player of the year, newcomer of the year. They won their first Big 12 title, regular season and tournament, like highest AP ranking. It was a lot. They had a really good tournament run as well that came to a short end. So I definitely want to salute TCU. Tennessee was another team that I thought could be slotted right here. Coach Kim Caldwell, man, can we talk about it? Like, she had a kid, birthed a child, and was coaching like the next week. Like, if that don't get you ready to run through a wall for your coach, man, I don't know what else gets the adrenaline pumping for you, man. But in year one, she didn't come from that Pat Summitt coaching tree. People inside Tennessee was not sure if she was the one for the job. They lose Rakia Jackson, and, she completely just revamped that program. And I think they exceeded expectations. The style change. She has that, like, if you remember when John Calipari used to have them teams that year, they had, like, Devin Booker and all those freshmen coming in. And, they were running 5 at a time, like hockey lineups. That's pretty much how Tennessee plays now. So seeing them establish themselves as a contender, they beat UConn, which was a major, major win anytime you beat the national champions. So that was one reason why I had them in my top 10.
Okay. All right. We are down to the last two.
Right, yeah, so and then in my last two, man, I think for me, and it's kind of like, I wasn't sure where we were going as far as if this was more of like a preview for next season or more so of like kind of recapping last year. So last year, mine too, man. Like if we're, Texas is easily on this list, Southern Cal easily on this list as well. And my reasoning really, as far as having USC kind of lower than probably people expected was for this season, they're definitely a top 5 team without a doubt. Like USC, Kiki Riafen, like that, if we're talking about specifically this past season, then for sure. But looking ahead to next season as well, it's kind of looking murky, man. They've lost pretty much, other than Kennedy Smith, they've lost their entire recruiting class that was number 1 ranked. Juju Watkins is probably out for majority of the year. We don't know if she's even going to play next season. Kikiri Yathen's in the draft. They haven't done a lot in the transfer portal. So for this past season, I definitely got them top 5. But weighing in next season too, it's kind of tough to know what the expectation is going to be there because we don't know who's going to be there. And a lot of those players that stepped up for them this past season have hit the portal. They haven't done a lot of damage in the portal yet. Not saying that they can't because they're still in the running for Sarah Williams as well, potentially. But yeah, man, USC definitely was one of those teams that was fun to watch. And I could say the same for Notre Dame, man. Like, they definitely are in my top 10 of teams too. If we're just talking about specifically last season and what they did, like that pretty much rounds out the top 10. And I'm shuffling these teams a little different. But if we're looking at more so what they're bringing back next year, the loss of, for Notre Dame, Sonia Citron as well as Olivia Miles, like they haven't done a lot in the transfer portal either. They lose Kate Koval as well, which was big. You know, they bring back Latu King, Hannah Hidalgo. Some people think they have a chance to land Malaysia Fulwiley with her being locked into the Curry brand and them being an Under Armour school. So that could dramatically change things for them as well. But yeah, man, that's another squad that I got, you know, kind of balancing it out as well is Notre Dame too.
Okay, USC and Notre Dame. And for this past season, do you want to move USC up?
Yeah, if we're just talking about this past season, man, I'm looking at, for me, it's UConn, South Carolina, UCLA, and I'll slow down a little bit. I know I'm just kind of rattling them off to you, but yeah, it just specifically next season, man, I got UConn, South Carolina, USC, Texas, Notre Dame, Duke, LSU would probably look more like that with the top 10 this year. TCU would be in my top 10 as well. Okay. Just looking at it, like just strictly from last year, that would probably look more like my top 10.
All right. Slight technical difficulty. USC is not on this list, but I'm going to make sure I put them on here. So they will be for you this past season, they will be above LSU.
Yeah, I would put, if I'm looking at this past season, I'm putting USC right behind Texas. Right, I'm putting Notre Dame behind them. I'm probably dropping LSU to 7, putting them below Duke. Definitely moving Notre Dame up. That probably, and then I would have TCU in there instead of Oklahoma. And then
this past season?
Yeah, I would have TCU over Oklahoma this past season just because, you know, they're a conference champ. And they were a top 10 team for a lot of the season. So yeah, I would have TCU just strictly off of last season if we're doing it like that. I would have TCU up there. I would probably have UNC over Tennessee too, to be honest. Yeah, something like that.
Okay. All right. I'm definitely going to fix this because your rankings will be a part of our end of the season video. So you have USC at 5. You have Duke over LSU. TCU is rounding out 9. It's like probably like 9. And the last team that's not on this list is what was it again? You remember?
That's about right. I think I probably have I would switch out Notre Dame, probably have them more so closer to the top, maybe actually behind LSU. I'll probably have Notre Dame at that 7 spot, and then also
they'll probably be like 8 because I'm missing USC because you had USC above Duke. So one more team.
So USC would be there, and then I put TCU in there too.
So it's USC and TCU. Got TCU is number 10.
Honestly, I probably put them at maybe. Honestly, man, with them, maybe 10, maybe
10.
9 or 10. Cause I mean, the thing with like it's tough. Like they made the Elite Eight, so I salute them for that. So yeah, I mean, I have no problem with them being anywhere from 8 to 10.
All right. So officially, so you want to put Tennessee last? I'll give them 9.
Yeah, honestly, man, if we just specifically with last year,
Yeah.
if we talking them, I would probably I'm comfortable with Tennessee there. I'm comfortable with them at 10.
Tennessee at
Yeah.
10. Okay. All right. I'm gonna fix this after this stream, definitely, because I want to get it right for the end of the season video. All right. So I got you. I got you. Okay. All right. So thank Brandon. I know you gotta go. I know your time is valuable. Thank you so much for doing this. Your rankings are very important for our end of the season video. So I really want to thank you for that.
Definitely.
Before you go, is there anything you want to plug? Is there anything you wanna say?
Yeah, man. First off, shout out to you guys over there at Fan Rankings, man. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to help up and coming creators. We all building it brick by brick. So salute
Yeah.
to you guys. Y'all can follow me on all social media at Brandon Lee TV. Like Sunday said, my link to my page is in my in the bio for the video. Just hit 5,100 subscribers. So man, hey, thank y'all for showing love and just continuing to follow the mission.
Yo, Brandon, thank you so much for everything for these rankings. His Brandon's rankings will be part of the end of the season video. My rankings will be part of the end of the season video. Again, we want your rankings to be part of the end of the season video. So go to fanrankings.com, hit the contact us page, and let me know you want to be part of the rankings. In a future live video, I'm going to do a raffle for the people who ranked, and right now it's up for grabs. It's a $25 fanatics.com gift card. So, Brandon, again, thank you so much. Everybody at home, please like and subscribe. Subscribe to Brandon Lee _TV YouTube channel. Subscribe to me at Fan Rankings to stay in the know and tune what's going on. And guys, thank you for watching. Brandon, thank you. All right, everybody. Good night. Peace.